I know it's been a while, everyone, but I'm going back and redoing some of my older videos more in depth and talk a little bit more about what I create and how I create it. And one of the most popular ones I make is this one called the Fajita Cake. It's a melding of simple flavors that taste wonderful. The first part of the video you're going to see is me slicing down some semi-sweet peppers. You want the pieces small. You don't want huge pieces because you're going to mince down chicken. You're going to have yellow rice, and you're going to have small bit sweet pepper and onion and green pepper. So you want to get small strips, and then you want to start cutting them down to little, like 1/8 of an inch pieces. It's tedious, but the end result is they're a lot smaller. They break down more easily when they heat it up. They release a little bit more of their sweetness. Now what I do is once I'm finished cutting them down into the little small bite-sized pieces inside of a pan, toss them in, even the onions, and then a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of lime juice. Set them in the refrigerator, set them off to the side for a while. The lemon and lime juice tends to break them down because of the acidity, and it adds more of their sweetness to the fajita. The next step is up to you. This is a part about cooking the chicken. Normally, you can either do a light fry. I don't suggest boiling, but you want to cook them down, period. After that, drain, strain, and mince. Here you can see I'm starting to slice them down and mince them to small pieces. Normally I would just do it with a fork and a knife, but it's boiling hot, so I try to keep my hands away from it. Once you've minced them down really fine, put them back in the strainer. You can leave it on the plate. Let them sit. It seems crazy, but trust me, it works. Here you see I'm starting to make the Spanish rice or yellow rice with wonderful flavors. I'm using the actual plate that I use as a cover. Give it a stir around, and you want to pull the yellow rice a little early. You don't want them completely dried out. You want a little bit of moisture, because when you mix it in with the fajita inside of the frying pan or pot, you don't want it absorbing all of the remaining liquids. Here you can see I'm starting to mix together the fajita. Water, fajita seasoning, very low heat. Get it up till you see a little steam coming out of it. Tossing your chicken after that. Personally, it's a chicken fajita, so what I want to taste is the chicken and I want to taste the fajita. They're going to carry most of the flavor. Here I'm tossing back in the minced down chicken. My next step is stir under a very low heat. Don't boil it away. If you dry the meat and the fluids there, you're going to dry even further when you throw the dry rice in, which is why I tell you to go a little under on the rice. Mix it in. It's hard to explain these flavors unless you make it. Just make one time. I promise you, you won't regret it. Here you can see the chicken. I showed you an overview of me mixing together the chicken with the peppers. The rice isn't fully cooked yet, though. It takes, 15-20 minutes sometimes. All right. And that's the end result picture you want when you finish mixing them together. I don't have set percentages because I don't see that as a great way of knowing how to make something. As for the flour tortillas, I already took time. You can take a little bit of butter, put it on a plate, put it in the microwave for 10 seconds. It'll start melting down. Take your tortilla and start rolling it across the plate. You want the top and bottom tortillas buttered, or at least oiled, because when it goes into the oven, it begins cooking. The cooking crisp the top and the bottom. And oh my God, it's like a thin cracker. And in between, you will have the rice, the peppers, the cheese holding everything together in a tight bond. Gooey, crunchy at the same time. And you don't really need to add too much seasoning to this. Once you got the rice seasoned, once you got the fajitas going, or the fajita seasoning going, everything else falls together. And the flavor is impossible to understand unless you try it. It's impactful. That's the only way I can say it. And it's simple. Here's an overview of how it should look in your pot. See the beautiful moisture where it's not dried out completely. which of course at this point I took it off the heat so it doesn't continue drying. Now when I make these, I start with a layer of cheese. I start tossing in your meat, rice, and peppers together. And you try to get it as evenly as possible because you don't want a lumpy cake. Once you get that layer down, toss in as much cheese as you like. And I found that some people like a little cheese. I've cut as high as about 1.5 pounds of cheese into 2 of them. So it's your preference. If you want it more cheesier, you can go that route. If you want it more spicier, you can add spicy peppers. Just, don't burn the whole family away with it. Oh, and this process is another crucial one I do is I tend to press and flatten it evenly as possible. And as you can see, pressing down, making sure everything is about the same level. The tortilla is slightly bigger than the pans I was using, so I fold them up. By folding them up, it prevents them from, especially after they finish cooking, from just simply allowing everything to fall back out. You can do it either way. If you got a big enough pan to hold all of it, you're fine. If you got a smaller pan, fold it up. And here's my completion. I'm going in now. I'm about to pull both of them out. And I use pie pans. It's silly to say, but the pie pan has a little switch. You pop it, it opens up. It allows you to easily remove the fajita cakes. And then you got a little plate on the bottom to hold it with. I've tried many other different directions, but once you finish cooking it, either you're going to eat it all, which can be hard. Some of them can be up to 2 pounds, depending on how you like to do your thing. Or you can do it my way. Pop it open. Take the side off. Slice off pieces. If you don't eat all of it, take some. Put it on some saran wrap. Put it on a baking sheet. Whatever you feel. Even aluminum foil. Place it in your oven for later. And it seems like a strange thing, but it tastes incredible. Just imagine crunchy, soft, gooey, cheesy. It's hard to explain fajita seasoning. And then sour cream, maybe a little salsa on the top. You can slice it like a little small piece of pie or cake, put it on a plate, drizzle a little bit of salsa across it, make it beautiful. Dab of sour cream, look like frosting or whipped cream. You can play with this, but it tastes incredible. Please, make one at home. Tell me how you enjoyed it.